Welcome everyone to today's event. As you know, you have already registered to this session and received the agenda. As you know, we will talk about the opportunities in Horizon Europe on the textile sector. And our agenda, today's agenda, is quite busy. So we will start soon with the first speaker. I just want to say thank you to all the speakers and the organizers. So the event is organized by two national contact point network projects, in particular Cluster 4 Industry project, NCP4 Industry Plus, and the Cluster 6 project, Care for Bio, together with the European Enterprise Network. So the agenda is quite busy, as I was saying, and we will start with an overview of the opportunities on textile in Cluster 4 and Cluster 6 related to the Coach 2027 with Lutz Walter, who is the Secretary General of the Textile Partnership. He's an old friend of the NCP Network project and always available to present both the association related to the Textile Partnership and the opportunities related to Horizon Europe, in particular for next year, 2027, for today's event. After Lutz, we will have other events, other speakers. It will be NCP4 Industry project will be presented by me, and then Care for Bio by my colleague Serena Borgna, another NCP. And we will have then Simone Maccaferri from Circular Bio-Based Europe to present the opportunities from this Cluster 6 partnership, and two success stories that in a session that will be moderated by Federica Leonetti from Enterprise Europe Network. And it will be nice to hear some organizations who are involved in European textile projects. So I will not spend more time in welcoming and introducing, presenting, and I will give the floor to Lutz Walter for his presentation. Thank you, Lutz. Please take the floor.
Thank you very much, Diego, for this very kind introduction. And of course, I'm always happy to spread the information about the activities of the Textiles of the Future Partnership and talk about some of those funding opportunities that we have in the framework program, thanks to the partnership, but also a few others that are outside the partnership that we as the European Textile Technology Platform are also promoting and supporting our members with. So I hope everybody can see me and can see my slides above all and can hear me well. And if that's the case, then I will continue. So very quickly, and for those who have probably seen similar presentations from me before, I don't want to spend too much time explaining what the organization is. Textile ETP, it is the European Network for Textile Research and Innovation. It's been in existence for more than 20 years and brings together a great number of organizations from the industry, from the research and higher education community in the area of textiles and clothing in Europe. We provide a number of services relating obviously to networking, bringing people together, connecting them, organizing events, webinars, having a very active online presence in social media, especially LinkedIn. Then we act a bit as a think tank for this sector in Europe and also as a learning provider, as a provider of latest developments in textile research and innovation from Europe. We do that through several thematic programs. And then last but not least, and that's why we're here today, is we also support our members in the access to EU funding. And since last year, most notably through our role as the lead organization for the private sector of the Partnership Textiles of the Future. And I will talk to you about that, of course, today. So yes, the partnership, it all obviously started like all partnerships do start with the development of a strategic research and innovation agenda, which is what we did in 2024, and all the core topics that we have developed in the meantime are of course based on this. So this document is available for anybody who hasn't had a look at it. You can find it here following this QR code, for instance, or you simply go on our website and you will find it. So in this agenda, we highlighted the main developments, the main research and innovation priorities that we see for this green and digital transformation of the textile and clothing industry related to decarbonization, sustainable materials, digitized automated manufacturing, and also safe and circular products and services. So, so there are, of course, a lot more detailed research priorities in there that you can find in the strategic agenda. So the partnership itself is officially in existence. So it was signed by both parts of the partnership in mid-2025. So we're about a year old as a formal entity. It is the first ever really textile dedicated funding program under the European Framework Programs. It is a partnership under Cluster 4. It's a co-program partnership where the Textile ETP plays the role as the private sector stakeholder, developing this research agenda and engaging with the European Commission in how to best spend this combined budget of 60 million euros, of which the European Union commits 30 million and the private sector contributes a similar amount. So we have a total of 3 dedicated calls over the time frame of the initial duration of the partnership, which is, of course, as it's a Horizon Europe partnership, it will run until the end of Horizon Europe 2027. We, of course, eager to see this partnership in this or similar form continue in the future, but of course, none of these things are clear at this stage. So we're looking right now at a 3-year duration of this partnership initially. So what kind of core topics have we had and are upcoming? So the first one we had, and that is obviously closed and it's already evaluated, and the 2 selected projects are already ongoing. So it was a core topic included in the 2025 work program called Digitally Enabled Local for Local Textile and Apparel Production. Was a core topic with 10 million of overall EU funding. And 2 projects have been selected from a very, very competitive evaluation. We had in total 33 proposals submitted under that core topic, of which then only 10 unfortunately could have been funded. What is important to know is that both of these projects, following the specifications of the core topic, include what is called a cascade funding program, or in technical terms, a financing to third party, which means that both projects will issue throughout their project duration, and I believe for both of them this may happen in early 2027, calls where SMEs can apply for sort of micro grants, micro project fundings of up to 60,000 euros, if I'm not mistaken, for sort of smaller projects that are in support of the overall objective of these of the bigger projects. So, so this is something very important for people to note, that these are obviously projects that have a consortium, that are fixed now and that are running now, but they will provide additional funding opportunities for SMEs that are working in that area of digitally enabled local for local production. So that was very important for us because the textile industry, as many of you certainly know, is a very much SME dominated industry with lots of partially very small companies. They may be very innovative, but they are not very, they don't have often the resources to engage in complex, long-term European collaborative projects. That's why our way of engaging more of these companies is through this cascade funding model. And we really hope that both programs will make good use of that. So I think in both programs, they have approximately €1 million dedicated to this cascade funding. So it's really, in aggregate, quite a significant amount, so which should allow quite a great number of SMEs to get engaged in these two projects through that module. So, and of course, when those calls, these cascade funding calls are published, we will promote them also through our partnership. So you will get to know about them, so they will not somewhere sit unknown and difficult to find. So this is the year 2025. For the 2026, there was not a very specific dedicated call for the partnership, but we had one call topic where we agreed with a related partnership, the ADRA, the AI Data and Robotics Partnership, to have a call topic in which one project should be focused on functional and technical textiles. This call topic is a two-stage evaluation. So the first stage was closed, I believe, in late February. And so it's currently under evaluation. Several proposals with textile focus we know of were submitted there. And then hopefully after the second stage evaluation, which will be later this year, at least one project will be funded under that call topic also. Of course, so it's important to note that since as it's a two-stage project, in order to apply in the second stage, of course, you have to successfully pass the first stage. So for those of you who have not participated in the first stage, that call topic also is effectively closed, so you cannot participate in that anymore. So what is more interesting is, I think, what is upcoming, and there are two specific call topics that I would like to highlight for the year 2027. The major one is this one here. So the Cluster 4 2027-01 Materials and Production 08, Textile Circularity through Advanced Processing and Manufacturing Technologies and System Approaches. So it's an innovation action, like also our 2025 call. So it is a project that is relatively close to market, so relatively high technology readiness level. A total budget of 16 million euros is available, and the indication is that project should have a size between 4 and 6 million euros. So you can guess that about 3 or maximum 4 projects are expected to be funded under this call topic. So what does this call topic want to fund? You know that there is an enormous research work currently going on in order to come up with textile materials, fibers that are more sustainable and especially renewable. And they can be renewable in a bio-based sense, or they can be renewable, obviously, in a recycling sense. And of course, when you recycle textiles or when you develop new bio-based textile fibers, you have to make sure that these materials can be processed throughout the entire value chain. So they can be spun into yarns, they can be woven into fabrics, they can be knitted, they can be dyed, they can be coated, and so on. And all of that is not necessarily trivial, because a different type of bio-based material may not act exactly the same way as a conventional cotton, a conventional polyester. And that is one of the bottlenecks that we've seen a lot in recent years when innovators, when startups try to bring new materials to the industry. It didn't work because the manufacturing supply chain was not ready. And that means the machinery, the technology that you use, also the chemicals that you use in order to process these materials, the dye stuffs that you use, the auxiliaries, and all these kind of processing chemistry that you need in order to give the material the requirements from the end user point of view. This often has to develop be developed together in order for a material to be useful. And that is what this call topic tries to do. So it is not a call topic to develop another technology to recycle textiles, not a call topic to come up with another sort of fancy bio-based fibers made out of lemon skin or whatever. It is to take some of those materials that have been proven technically, but that are struggling to get into the market, and help them to sort out all their production issues so that they can effectively process in a very similar way than virgin and fossil materials, because it's only this way also that we can reduce the cost differential between those renewable materials and the virgin fossil materials. So this is the main objective of this call topic. What is important to note here as well is that the cascade funding model, this financial support to third parties, is also included here, and projects are encouraged to spend at least 10 with up to 25% of their EU contribution for these financial support to third parties. So you see, again, there will be opportunities for small companies to participate through micro projects along the project duration of this overall project. So, so the call topic, I don't have the timing in mind. Of course, it's a 2027 call topic. I think officially the calls will be opened in September, and I think submission deadline, if I'm not mistaken, are in January or February 2027. Same timeline for the other call topic, which is it's a combined call topic that covers several partnership, including the Made in Europe, the Process for Planet, the Clean Steel, and the Innovative Advanced Materials Partnerships, and the Textile of the Future Partnership. So it's a fairly open topic, fast track to research and innovation for breakthroughs in industrial technology. It's a research and innovation action with a total budget of 20 million. Smaller project size, 2.5 million per project, so about 8 projects to be funded. There's no clear split, of course, of projects between the different partnerships, but we expect that at least one proposal will be selected from the Textiles of the Future Partnership as well. So these are the two very specific call topics in 2027 that address our partnership. Of course, this is not all in terms of opportunities for textile research in Horizon in 2026 and 2027. So 2026, so those call topics that are currently open, we identified a number of call topics outside the partnership. In Cluster 4, there's still this topic 21, development of safe and sustainable alternatives to substances of concern, specifically PFAS. Which is, of course, also an issue in textiles. And then there are 2 call topics under Cluster 6, more relating to circularity and recycling, that are also very specific and relevant for textiles. And there was also a call topic under the Circular Bio-Based Europe Joint Undertaking, develop breakthrough in sustainable bio-based textile fibers. So quite a lot of textile call-specific opportunities under the 2026 call. We always organize brokerage activities, and I will explain that briefly in the next slide how that works. So for the 2026 call topics, we ran our brokerage webinar in February. We presented 24, or our members presented 24 project ideas with the idea of finding partners, building consortia in order to come up with a really strong proposals. For 2027, and there's a small mistake here on my slide, so please disregard the first line, Cluster 4, that is the 2026 call topic. But then for Cluster 6, there are again 3 call topics, which are not exclusively oriented towards textiles, but when you read the call topics, the call descriptions, textiles or textile materials are always mentioned. So capacity building for extending product life cycle through repair and refurbishment. Then a call topic related to footwear, of course, many of which also involve textile materials. And then call topics related to circularity of bio-based material sectors, including upcycling and recycling. And of course, here also textiles are mentioned in the call topic. So for these call topics 2027, including, of course, the 2 call topics under the partnership, we will again organize our brokerage activities. We have just launched the call for project ideas to our members with a deadline in September. So by September, they should submit to us their project ideas, and those will be presented in a brokerage webinar on the 9th of October of this year. So we give them always enough time to prepare their ideas so that they can still then look for partners and build a good consortia. So in terms of those support services for proposals and projects, I would like to highlight 2. The one that I already mentioned, which is our Textile Project Proposal Information Exchange System, TEPIS in short, where we basically enable our members to use our network to share non-confidentially, of course, project ideas in order to build their consortia, to find the right partners that they need with the right competences, and then apply with a really strong European dimension in their proposal. So the way it works, very briefly, is that, of course, it always starts with the European Commission to publish the work programs. Then we go through these work programs and pick out all the core topics that we believe are relevant for the textile sector. We launched then our call for expression of interest or project ideas to our members. They submit those expression of interest to us. We distribute all of those among our members. Then we organize the brokerage event where those who have submitted project ideas can pitch them and specifically highlight the kind of partners that they still look for. And then after that, each of those proposals interact directly within their consortia and write and submit their proposals. And then obviously it's up to the European Commission to evaluate those project ideas. And this is something that we have been doing since the very beginning of our partnership or of our technology platform, basically 20 years ago. And this is something that really works very well. And that's something that is one of the main services that we provide to our members. More recently, we have developed another activity back in 2023, which is called Ecosystex, the European Community of Practice for Sustainable Textile Ecosystem. And what we do here is we are networking not organizations, but we're networking EU-funded projects. So as there is quite a large number of ongoing EU-funded research projects, we said, well, rather than having all of them running in parallel, often without knowing from each other, without interconnecting, let's build a community where all these projects can join forces, where they can work together on specific subject in cross-project working groups, and also where we organize bi-monthly public webinars where projects can present themselves on one single platform, and also once a year we organize an annual conference. So this is something that we started initially with just a handful of projects in January 2023. And over the last 3.5 years, it has grown really immensely. So now that we have a total of 96 member projects, not all of these projects are still ongoing. So there are a few projects that have in the meantime already finished, but we keep them in our network. So the organizations, the partners who worked in those projects are not kicked out of the community. So they can stay as experts in that community. And they're really very active, and it's very highly appreciated. It's also highly appreciated by the European Commission that we do that, because it's an extra sort of service to disseminate and create synergies between all these projects. Not all these projects are Horizon projects. We also have a number of Erasmus projects, a number of Interreg Europe projects, and a few others, but all of these are European projects. So these are projects which have partners from several European countries, and they all address textile sustainability in some way. Not all of these projects exclusively. They're projects which address textile sector and plastics or paper or machines or chemicals and whatever, but they always need to have a clear textile component in it. We also, as I said, we organize once a year a conference. So this year's conference will take place in Antwerp in Belgium from the 22nd to the 24th of September. And it will bring together 6 of our member projects that will present themselves and will organize interactive workshop sessions. We always link also some visits, some guided tours to it. So we will visit the Belgium Textile Research Center, Centexbel in Ghent. We visit a textile circularity innovator startup here in Brussels, and we organize some fashion sustainability activities in Antwerp as well around the Antwerp Fashion Museum. So all of that, a wonderful program. It's open for registration. So if you're interested, you can scan the QR code or you go on our website and you can join us there. And with this, maybe very last point, we also offer these services, so the dissemination-related services, as a subcontracting component for any project that would like to bring us to be brought into this network, not just on a free basis, but also to have some very specific packages related to participation in those conferences or other more targeted dissemination activities. They can also do that for a very modest sum. So that is also something that those of you who build projects may find interesting. And with this, I would like to finish my presentation. So all these activities are available to our members. So membership to the Textile ETP is open, of course, open to any organization in Europe that is linked in whatever form or shape to textile research and innovation. We believe our membership fees are very democratic. So there's a scheme for sort of larger organizations and one for more for SMEs or individual researchers and experts. And if you want to know all about it, you can go to our website, scan the QR code and see what we offer. And if you're not yet part of the network, you're very welcome to join. And with this, I thank you for your attention. I hope it was of value. And if you have any questions,
Lutz, thank you very much for your presentation. As usual, it was everything very, very clear. It's curious that, we can find textile not only like in Pillar 2 of Horizon Europe, but also like in other programs like Erasmus+. I don't know if in the future we will see textile somewhere else everything is changing probably in next framework program. So I don't know if you have some insight for the public, but I'm sure we will see still the partnership and related topics as well.
Diego, what I may say is that one of the reasons that we see, I would say, quite a significant increase in textile-related projects in different programs is related to the EU textile strategy. So that was an EU policy that was launched in 2022. And as a result of this, many programs, many DGs in the European Commission have tried to support that sort of sustainable transition in the textile industry. That will continue over in the coming years, we don't know. We're working quite actively on several fronts. We're working very intensively on the bioeconomy strategy, and to the extent that the textile sector can contribute to it. We're working on digitalization and all the digital programs also related to AI and robotics and so on, where we see opportunities. And we also, of course, a more sort of a newer priority and maybe less positive in some sense. There's of course also quite some need for textile materials in the area of defense and protection. So these are all areas where we see continued interest in textile after the end of Horizon.
So I can't see questions on Slido. So I want to promote what you can see written in the screen and below. You can see, you can go to slido.com and type Horizon Europe Textile, HE Textile, if you want to make questions. It was promoted during your presentation, Lutz, but probably I forgot to promote it at the beginning. So by now we don't have questions. So thank you very much for your participation. I know you can't stay until the end because of other commitments. So thank you. And I think now we can move to the national counterpoint session. So as I was saying at the beginning, one of the two organizers, together with European Enterprise Network, are NCP for Industry Plus and Care for Bio projects. And we are the cluster. NCP for Industry Plus is the cluster for industry. So it's only related to the industry area of Cluster 4 National Contact Point Network Project, and the Care for Bio represent the network of the National Contact Point in Cluster 6. So we will start with my presentation of the project. I will be quite quick. I don't want to bore you, but anyway, I think we offer essential services for the applicants. Essential support for those who are interested in Horizon Europe. So we started this project in September 2025, NCP for Industry Plus, but actually for those who already know the Cluster for Industry National Contact Point, we had a previous project whose name was NCP for Industry, so quite simple and quite natural continuation for the current project. And we are a network of 20 countries associated at Horizon Europe or member states, but let's say we are not limited to those countries. So we have Spain, Portugal, Italy, Germany, Albania, Norway, Sweden, etc. But I mean, we are not limited to this country because also the other NCPs participate to our activity. They are active inside the network, so it's not just limited to the beneficiaries. If you are from, for instance, France, or if you are from Croatia, you can always, let's say, use our support, the support of your national contact points, because they are in touch. They are in touch with the project, and so you can have knowledge of what we are doing, and we are planning for the next months towards the call 2027. So the main objectives of our project is, of course, to create a network of national contact points, so to increase the quality of the services we offer to the applicants, and also to stimulate a knowledge transfer and cross-fertilization across the research and innovation community related to Cluster 4 industries. So our, let's say, daily job is to talk, of course, inside our community of NCPs, but also talk with the stakeholders, so research centers, academia, companies, small and medium enterprises, startups. So we look to everyone needs to try to improve our services and to solve the problem of the applicant following, let's say, their path, their journey towards the funding, or towards the life of the project, inside the life of the project, at 360 degrees. Of course, let's say we have stakeholders of our project. We have some target group that we aim to talk with. First of all, the Cluster 4 National Contact Points. As you know, Cluster 4 is very complex. So we are 3 different areas: industry, digital, and space, with 3 different Cluster 4 National Contact Point projects that are NCP for Industry Plus, that is here represented by me. But we have also Idealist 2027 for the digital part, and Cosmos for Horizon Europe for the space part. So these projects are a way to talk among us of the different needs of the different areas. We look always to our stakeholders because I mean they are the main actor of Horizon Europe, of Pillar 2, and in particular for us for Cluster 4. So since, let's say, we are a national structure talking together inside this project, we are able to talk with our national actors that can be, as I was saying before, research center, academia, etc. We have, let's say, a particular interest in helping and supporting the newcomers, and because I mean, we know that Horizon Europe is a complex world, and we want to help and support who is coming for the first time, who is facing for the first time the problem of an application, of understanding a topic, of running a project, and so on. And for sure, we have a daily relationship with the European Commission, because we are funded, we are a European project, so we are funded by the European Commission, this is for sure. But I mean, we try to work with them, organizing webinars for applicants like this. For instance, the Commission couldn't be here today, but usually you can find some representative, some project officer from the Commission inside this event, this kind of event. And we always try to improve with them the services we can provide to the R&I community. What kind of services do we provide? I mean, really, we have a really good offer for people who are interested in Horizon Europe, because let's say we try to cover the full life cycle of a project, starting from the grant writing, going through the project, and supporting them also after the end of the project. So for instance, one of the services we offer is the pre-proposal checks. In this kind of event, we try to support the applicant in understanding if his idea project fit with the topic, which is something not really easy if you don't have so much experience, and you need to understand a little bit what the Commission and really wants from a call. And NCPs are here for supporting you in this. Besides this, we also offer full proposal checks, and this service is one of the most successful in the applicant community. What we do with this service, we offer a platform that you can find online. I will promote you. You will see it in the next slide. And during this event, your proposal draft, usually like a quite advanced draft, will be evaluated by Horizon Europe evaluators that, of course, they have experience in cluster 4 topics. And we find it that is a really good way to improve your proposal before the submission. And usually this event happens 2 weeks before the topic deadline. We organize matchmaking, like a lot of matchmaking actually. We have usually an open platform that is B2Match. We will open it in with the opening of the 2027 calls and topics, and it will remain open until the deadline of 2027, so February 2027. But we also offer matchmaking on site. For instance, a few days ago, on the 8th of June, we had matchmaking in Brussels on the clean industrial deal calls. These calls are, let's say, a mixture between cluster 4 and cluster 5 on energy intensive industry. And they are funded by both clusters. We produce documents like fact sheets, study of policies, and so on, but also we organize webinars to let's say have a better knowledge on what's happening in Horizon Europe, especially in cluster 4 industry, of course, with focus such as textile or clean steel or process industry or manufacturing. So all the topics that are included in cluster 4: materials, advanced materials, raw materials, etc. As I was saying, here are a few links that you can where you can find our services. At the moment, both, let's say, the most relevant that are the platform for matchmaking and the platform for the proposal check are closed because, I mean, the deadline has passed, so it was in April. So we are waiting after the summer to reopen this platform for matchmaking and proposal check. But you will be advertised on our social or website. So I suggest you to save this link. But you can easily find us also on LinkedIn. We are very active on LinkedIn. Everything we do, it's promoted through LinkedIn, not only on our website. Let's say our website is a nice reference, even if you want to download some guidelines, some fact sheet on different topic under cluster for industry. We just produce a fact sheet on the clean industrial deal codes, if you are interested. But there is also material on textile, on advanced materials. By now we are producing a new one on raw materials, since a new co-fund in under cluster 4 is going to open soon. Specifically on raw materials, it will be called RAMP. You can find here our contact, a news section that is very active, and also all the events that we are planning are listed under the event section. By now it's not really full because, I mean, summertime is coming, but we already have plans for September, October, autumn, winter, etc. I think I've done with this slide. So from cluster 4 industry, that's all. I invite you to contact us whenever you want. I mean, you can find easily our contact on the website, or just there is my name in the last slide, so, and my address, so you can contact me whenever you want for support. Or I mean, the suggestion is always to contact your national contact point, your local reference, so that it can follow you in during your application, or supporting you to find the best opportunity for your project idea. Thank you very much, and now I will give the floor to the other organizer, that is Care for Bio, for the Cluster 6 National Contact Point, and the representative for today that will present the project is my colleague from APRE, the Agency for the Promotion of the European Research in Italy, Serena Borgna. Please, Serena, take the floor.
Thank you very much, Diego. Good afternoon to all the participants. As already Diego referred to you, my presentation will be about Care for Bio, that is the Cluster 6 network of national contact point. I organized my presentation with the first part focus on the Cluster 6 structure and opportunities. I'm going to reply some information that already Lutz give you in the first part, and the second one will be dedicated to the Care for Bio network and the services offered by the national contact points to all the applicants. Just to give you a picture on which the Cluster 6 is positioned inside the Horizon Europe, you can find inside the second pillar dedicated to the collaborative research, and some of the opportunities offered under the Cluster 6 are also part of the EU mission and to the European partnership. As you can from this slide, you can see all the program and instruments that are under Horizon Europe of interest for the food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture and environment. Regarding the the topic of the today workshop, the most relevant instrument are the destination number 3, circular bio, in the cluster 6, and the European partnership, circular bio-based Europe, that is an institutionalized partnership, and more details on the opportunities offered by CBJNU will be explained by Simone Maccaferri in the next slot inside this webinar. Just to give you more details about the special focus on textile that we can find inside the cluster 6, you can see the impact number 29, where is a strict connection with the circular bioeconomy and the bioeconomy sector. In fact, in this part, in this destination of the cluster 6, you can find a very strong policy context that is important for the circular economy and the bioeconomy sectors. And this policy context is in line with the strategic plan, and in particular with the transition to a clean, competitive and circular economy and sustainable bioeconomy. Here you can find the different destinations inside the cluster 6, with a special focus on the destination number 3, that is going to support circular solutions driven by climate neutrality and the bioeconomy to generate integrated and safe territorial and cross-sectorial approaches. Inside the cluster 6, and in particular inside the last 2 years of the cluster 6, the circular bioeconomy destination is divided in 3 main areas of research and innovation: enabling circular economy transition, innovative for sustainable bio-based system, biotechnology and the bioeconomy, and the part of the destination dedicated to the blue economy. Regarding the different topics that have been funded inside Cluster 6 by the beginning of Horizon Europe, you can find here a list of some topics of interest. The first topic on textile, you can see, was in the second work program 2023 about novel, sustainable and circular bio-based textile. Then we have other topics in this work program that is now open with a deadline in September of this year. The first 2 topics that already Lutz mentioned are the more close to the textile sector. The other 4 topics that you can find inside this table are more broad, but can find also some textile application. So there is a secondary interest for textile in the last 4 topics that you can see in this slide, but are in any case of interest for the different actors that are active in the textile sector. I would like to remind you that for all the topics that are present in Cluster 4 and in Cluster 6, we have a collaborative approach. A collaborative approach means that you should create your consortia with partners that came from different member states or associated country, also with partners that came from different sectors for applying inside these areas. So it's very important, the building of a good consortium for get a good proposal that will be evaluated by the European Commission. In this slide, you will find the topic that will be opened in the last calls for Horizon Europe 2027. The first 3 topics are more close to the textile sector, as you can see from the title, but also from the Lutz presentation. And the deadline for the first 3 topics is September next year. The last 2 topics that have a more broad interest for the textile sector, but that could be in any case of interest for some stakeholders that could be present today, foresee a 2-stage submission with different deadlines compared with the topic above. In this case, the applicants should submit a short proposal of 10 pages by the 11th of May. And after this first evaluation of this short proposal, you will be called to finalize to write the full proposal by September in case the evaluation will be positive. I would like also to show you, I'm really sorry, but there was something went wrong with this slide, but the right version will be available with all the presentation of today, so will be sent to all the people that registered to this webinar. I included in this slide some projects that have been funded in Cluster 6 in the past years, with a specific emphasis to some sector like the responsible, like a circular system, fiber, and so on. But you will find this project in evidence in the final presentation that will be distributed. Now let me move to the network of the Cluster 6 national contact point. Also, the Care for Bio project is an initiative that is going to offer services not only to the national contact point, but also to the different applicants along Europe, but also abroad. We are going to cover several aspects under Cluster 6, with also some insight into the mission and the partnership related to the Cluster 6. In our activities in supporting the ecosystem around the Cluster 6, we are going also to develop this annotated template for the proposal that could be useful also for Cluster 6, but also for the Circular Bio-based Europe proposal. It's an annotated template made by the National Contact Point with a specific focus on research and innovation action and coordination and support action, both double stage or single stage. So you can find some useful insight from the National Contact Point with some suggestion on how to treat the different sessions of the proposal template, also with some example that came by the day-by-day experience of the National Contact Point. These annotated templates are available in our website, so you can download it and consult during your proposal writing. As Care for Bio, we are going also to support the Cluster 6 applicant through different activities and tools. We are used to organize the brokerage event back-to-back with the Info Day, usually organized by the European Commission, and we organized several events in the past years connected with the calls of Horizon Europe, and the next event dedicated to the last year of Horizon Europe will be organized in January, and the brokerage event will be both on site in Brussels, plus there will be the opportunity to use the matchmaking platform also for the online meeting. So please be aware when we are going to publish this event, because it will be a very important occasion for meet potential partner and potential coordinator for the next Horizon Europe calls related to Cluster 6. In our activities as National Contact Point, we are going also to organize training for applicants, both on-site and online. Here you can find some title of training that we organized in the past, and we are going to organize also other online training in the next months. We are going to use the website of the Care for Bio for disseminate and promoting this training. In our web page, you can also find the materials that we developed for the training already done, so you can consult the presentation and in some case also the registration for the training. So this material could be useful because it's totally focused on the Cluster 6 aspect and peculiarity. Another interesting activities under Cluster 6 Care for Bio project is the awareness raising event that is a series series of events that we are used to organize on YouTube are very short sessions focused on some specific characteristic of this cluster or some cross-cutting aspect that could be useful for the applicants. Also, in this case, all the material are available in our website. Here you can see also other activities in synergies with key stakeholders, like for example the Circular Bio-Based Europe. Care for Bio is used to strongly cooperate with the CBJNU for events or for promoting some interesting activities from both sides. We have a very strong relationship with Enterprise Network, and an event like today, it's very important to reinforce the cooperation among the different support systems that exist at European level. Here you can find some tools that are available for all, for the public, our website, the calendar with the most relevant events. Here you can find both events organized by Care for Bio, but also interesting events organized by the European Commission, the CBE, or other interesting stakeholders. Here are some tools that are available in our system and other events, like also the annotated template. So I don't want to be too much long. I see that also the next speaker is present in our webinar. So I think that we can move to the next presentation. I would like to thank you, all of you, and Diego and Federica, for organizing this training. And I would like to remind you that all the national contact points are available for offering you information, assistance, support for better understand the rules, but also the content of the topics that we presented today. We are available also to give you some information about the legal and administrative part of Horizon Europe. So please use our expertise free of charge for better quality in your future Horizon Europe proposal. So I think that now it's time for call Simone Maccaferri on the stage. I see Diego, but I'm calling Simone. Simone, thank you very much for being with us this afternoon. Simone Maccaferri is project officer for the Circular Bio-Based Europe joint undertaking. We cooperate very strongly with him in different contexts, so I'm very happy to offer to all the participants your huge competencies in this area. So Simone, thank you very much, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Serena. Thank you for the invitation and for this interesting webinar. I will try to provide you with an overview of what CBJU is doing on the bio-based textile sector. I think that you know what CBJU is, but just to recap for who is not aware, we are a joint undertaking between the European Commission and the Bio-Based Industries Consortium. We are a public-private partnership with 2 billion euro of funding, 1 billion provided by European Commission and 1 billion in kind contribution by the private partner of the joint undertaking. And the objective of CBJU is to support the European bioeconomy and to advance the market deployment of bio-based products in all the different sectors. So far, we have funded 243 projects. We are, as CBJU, we are established in 2021 in the frame of Horizon Europe, but we are representing the legacy of the previous joint undertaking BBIJU. So in total, we have 243 projects, and this has funded over 1,500 participants, 1.4 billion euro of investment in project with a leverage effect of 1 to 3. So for each euro of public funding, we have been able to unlock 3 euro of private investment. And what is most important is that we are one of the most successful initiative in the Horizon Europe for funding small and medium enterprises that for the bioeconomy sector are extremely important, with the participation of 38% of SMEs, with over 35% of funding dedicated to small and medium enterprises. We are using more or less every kind of biomass that are available on the globe. We are most of our projects are using agri-food or forest-based feedstock, but we have an increasing number of projects that are dealing also with alternative biomass, like for example biogenic CO2 or the organic fraction of solid municipal solid waste or aquatic biomass and so on. So we try to use every kind of biomass to develop bio-based solutions that are applicable to every kind of industrial sector, both business to business and business to consumer. One of our strongest market sector are the food and feed, but also the bioplastic and the packaging. Textile is a more recent addition to CBJU portfolio, but is steadily growing. When I joined in 2022, we had only a handful of projects. Now we have 15 projects. And also this year we funded 2 new projects, 2 new innovation action that have increased our portfolio. What is funding CBJU in the textile sector? Pretty much everything. We have projects that are dealing with alternative fiber sources, so assessing the suitability, the availability, and the long-term environmental sustainability of new fiber sources for textile production. So let's say hemp, let's say seagrass, nettle, poplar. And then we have projects that are dealing with process innovation, so new biorefineries that are exploiting side stream and processing post-consumer biowaste to extract, for example, valuable cellulose, and using this cellulose for further spinning and processing to be adapted to the textile pipeline and textile industry. But we have also projects that are dealing with substituting the chemical fossil-based chemicals of the textile industries to develop bio-based additives and coating and finishings to improve the textile sustainability performance compared to the current one. And also we have projects that are dealing with the end-of-life management of the bio-based textile projects. So, for example, the recyclability, the biodegradability of the textile, especially when the textile products are associated, for example, to the fishing gears, or we had a project related to the application of bio-based fishing gears to reduce the microplastic pollution in the ocean. So you see that we have a broad range of projects that are covering many of the different innovations that are possible, and we are doing that covering all the span of the different technology readiness level, using all the type of action that Horizon Europe is allowing. So we have a number of research innovation action, because many of these innovations are still not at scale. So we have to provide the development and the validation of technologies that might be further upscaled. And so far we have a number of projects that are dealing with that. But also we have now an increased number of innovation action that are scaling up and demonstrating technologies. And IRIS and Test for Green are the 2 new additions of Call 2025. We still don't have any flagship project, any first of a kind biorefineries, but hopefully we might have some in the near future. So as I was saying, just a snapshot of what our projects are doing. For example, we have 2 projects that are Phoebe and Phoebson that are growing hemp and thistle on polluted soils to avoid the food competition, and therefore are trying to valorizing through phytomanagement practice the use of degraded and marginal land to cultivate crops that might be useful not only to ameliorate the carbon stock and the viability of these soils, but also to provide economic value to develop these crops as biomass for biorefineries that are useful for the textile sector. Other projects, for example, Biolash, for which I was just today in a review meeting, is extracting high-quality fibers, cellulosic fibers from seagrass, nettle, and poplar. Other projects, for example, Fabulous and Promofer, are developing textile from the bio-waste, municipal bio-waste, or using this bio-waste coupled with CO2 to develop fermentation of bacterial cellulose that can be used for developing bioplastic pellets to be further used in textile application. Other projects that we had, for example, the effective project was an innovation action that was closed a couple of years ago, and this demonstrated large-scale production of bio-based nylons and polyesters for the use in garments and carpets. So you see that we have a quite good variability of different projects. The last two projects that just started, or one just started and the other will start in September, but were founded in Call 2025, are Text for Green and Iris. Text for Green is coordinated by Catalytics Processus Catalíticos in Spain, and Iris is coordinated by RISE in Gothenburg in Sweden. And both the projects are developing bio-based chemicals to be used in the textile industry. Text for Green is using fast-free lignin coatings, bio-based surfactants, and dyeing molecule derived by algae, while Iris is demonstrating drop-in technologies to be integrated in facilities to produce a palette of colorants and sustainable coloration solution from forestry and agricultural waste system and CO2. So you see, Iris is more for the coloration and dyeing, while Text for Green is more for coatings and surfactant. And these two projects will develop innovative solution at TRL 67. Two projects that I want to just showcase. One very interesting is called Fabulous. It's a research innovation action that is producing vegan leather, vegan circular leather alternative derived from biotech cellulose. And the idea is to deliver materials and prototype products that are free of toxic chemical and petrol-based plastics, are bio-based, are recyclable, are biodegradable, and the most challenging part is that are comparable in look, texture, and performance to traditional leather. This is meant to be a technology that can be scalable to mass production. There are both large companies and SMEs in the project, and hopefully this project that started last year can have a good result on this approach. The idea is to use bacterial cellulose, sanofysin, and bacterial pigment to create both the textile backing, the coating layers, and the surface finishing, all bio-based in products that are as industrial application, handbag, small leather goods, footwears, and the kind of leather alternative for the automotive interior of the car for consumer purposes. And here is the example of the process. So you see that the bacterial cellulose is used for making the textile backing on the roll. That is then used to fabricate the material. Then there are bacterial pigments and sanofysin that are put on the top as coating and finishing, and this then is assembled in prototypes by three companies, one that is dealing with higher end product for bags and small garments, one that is developing lower level activities for the garment side, and the other that is doing the automotive activities. The second project that I would like to highlight to conclude is Iris. Iris is a project that will start in September. Is a project that I will personally monitor. Is coordinated by Rise. Has a large industrial component, 8 SMEs and 2 large companies. Is €7 million project. The feedstock for this project will be industrial waste wood, agricultural side stream, non-edible crop residues, waste glucose, and glycerol. And the idea is to develop at TRL7, as I was saying, bio-based colorants, dyeing process for cellulose coloring, and substitute harmful chemicals. And the idea here is, you can see the fermentation of the wood waste together with the photosynthesis of atmospheric CO2 for the developing of bio-based colorants that are used for dope drying and printing. And this will be then validated against technical standard for cellulosic and denim fabrics. And also agricultural waste will be used for developing bio-based polymers that are providing the encapsulation for the colorants in order to increase the performance. And then there is also all the part related to the mechanical recycling and the recyclability of this product in order to ensure also the correct end-of-life management of this product once they are stained and then are not more used, in order to recover this bio-based material and ensure that the product can follow the correct way for the recyclability purpose. The CBJU textile portfolio is not concluded. We have still more room for textile in the call 2026 that has a submission deadline for the 22nd of September. We have a research innovation action that is aimed at developing breakthrough and sustainable bio-based fiber textile. And we will fund 2 research innovation action for 3.25 million. And the idea is to have innovative bio-based textile waste, bio-based man-made fibers, or refinement and functionalization of natural fiber for developing possible innovative fibers at TRL still low, so very innovative, focusing on the innovation in this sector that might be further upscaled in the future years of activities for what we would like to have really a continuation for this activity in the bio-based sector for the textile. With that, I conclude my presentation. I would like to thank you, and I am available for any question.
Thank you very much, Simone, for your presentation. So I think I will take there is a question and answer time at the end of this webinar, but I think I will take the chance to make you a question from the public. As you know, we have a Slido active. One applicant is asking regarding the alternative sources requirement for the Research Innovation Action 02. Are secondary biopolymers extracted from non-food industrial waste streams like fungal waste from biotechnology or industrial cellulosics fully within the scope as alternative biomass?
So we are talking of RIA 2, but RIA 2 is not the one on textile, is another one. By the way, I can. So let me see the question.
So I put in the chat.
So
question, so it's
either we are talking of RIA 2 really, or RIA 3, that is the one that I was referring in my presentation. This kind of this kind of feedstock are in scope with the topic.
Okay, it was very clear and direct. Thank you, Simone. So by now there are no other questions, but I mean, if you can stay down at the end of the webinar, you are more than welcome. Of course, if you don't have other commitments, probably other questions will come, or otherwise, I will forward you the questions to answer
maybe, thank you
to the stakeholders. So thank you again, Simone, for your presentation. It was very clear, and see you next time. So we move on to the next and last session of this webinar. I mean, after talking about opportunities in Horizon Europe with the Textile partnership and the circular bio-based Europe, and having a presentation of the national contact point projects, now we are moving to success stories. So we want to hear from people, from companies, organizations that usually participate to European projects, what is their experience. This session will be moderated by the other organizer of this event, that is a European Enterprise Network. So I want to introduce you Federica Leonetti from EN, but also from Union Camere Piemonte. She will moderate this session, and before presenting you the success story, she wants to present something as well. Please, Federica, take the floor.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So hello everyone. It's the last session. I will try to go very quickly to give the floor to our success stories. So thanks Diego, and thanks to the National Contact Point for collaborating with me in organizing this webinar. So I would like to introduce a little bit myself. My name is Federica Leonetti. I work in the regional union of the Chamber of Commerce in Piedmont region in Italy, based in Turin, and we are a member of the Enterprise Europe Network. I'm international business advisors, and I'm dealing with the textile industry because within the EN network, I coordinate a sector group of textile advisors. We are all members from all over the world, and we support SMEs dealing with the textile sector as well. So just going very quickly, the Enterprise Europe Network is an international network co-financed by the European Commission. It's spread all over the world in more than 40 countries, so not only in Europe. The most important things of the network is that we supporting SMEs, we facilitate international connections, and we support companies to grow and to develop and to innovate worldwide, creating connections, create partnerships, and be up to date regarding the European policies information. Here are some figures, but then you will have time to check properly all the slides. Here just an overview regarding our international nodes from the Enterprise Europe Network, as said, and this is actually the power of the network, because we are we can support SMEs creating real international connections and facilitating commercial or technological agreements in that way. Here another overview about our international partners, and as said, we facilitated the creation of international agreements because we shares profiles and needs from clients who are looking for new products, new technologies, new partnership, or to innovate actually worldwide. Our network approach, that means that we cover different sectors. We provide services related to innovation, sustainability, digitalizations, access to finance. So we try to cover more or less all the industrial sector and needs. Here you can see our the sector groups that you can find within the network. What does it mean? It means that within the network we created 15 sector groups to optimize the work, let's say. Sector groups are aligned on the industrial ecosystems. So in that way, we trying to support all kind of industry, all kind of companies. Within the sector group textile, we cover all the actors that we can find in the supply chain in the textile industry. So from the manufacturing companies to the fashion designers, till the company who produces yarns, till the buyer or the commercial agency or agents or a retailer. So we try to involve and cater and support all the actors working within the sector. We cover different kinds of topics, providing many activities, supporting companies dealing with sustainable regulations, policy, sectorial European policy, access to finance, calls for partnership projects. So we try to give them better understand the calls for proposals released by the European Commission. We create international connections with stakeholders, with local and with international sectorial stakeholders. Main activities, organization of brokerage events where companies have the possibility to create connections and where we facilitated the creation of international connections among peers or companies or experts. We organize workshops, webinars, trainings on specific topics, company missions and European delegations as well. Here again, some key figures related to the support we provide to our SMEs and other topics covered related to the sustainability in that case. A general overview of our main brokerage events that we organize year by year. These are B2B events that we organize during exhibition fairs, specific events, or international conferences related to the textile industry, of course. What I would like to mention is that the one we are going to have in 2 weeks in Turin, the Torino Fashion Match. We already gathered more than 150 companies and participants from more than 40 countries all over the world. They will meet in 2 days, on the 1st and the 2nd of July, with other peers, with other companies, and during this event they will have the chance to create international partnerships and connections. The event is organized during a fashion week, Torino Fashion Week, that is addressed to emerging fashion designers and small and medium enterprises and niche culture from all over the world. So it will be an experience, as we used to say, for companies coming from everywhere who will have the chance to create real connections, business connections. Alongside the B2B, we are going to organize also a talk day, inviting international speakers from different part of the world, talking about different topic around the textile industry, touching the different topics like innovation, internationalization, sustainability, and artificial intelligence as well. Here is some figures regarding the event who will host our brokerage event, and some pictures from previous editions. If you want to join, you have the chance to come to Torino. You have still the chance to register till the 29th of June. Here you can see the link to register as well. I will go very quickly, some figures, some data regarding the past editions of the event. And another thing I wanted to mention is that within the Enterprise Europe Network, we try to give visibility to our clients, especially if they have the chance to achieve their goals, to create some real connections and some real agreements at international level. We give them visibility. We try to promote them through European Commission channels, the Enterprise Europe Network channels. We report their success stories. So it's very important because through the network, we promote them worldwide, actually. Here, for example, is an Ukrainian group of fashion designers who joined the event a couple of years ago. They promoted themselves also these participations, producing a leaflet, gathering all the profiles of the companies, the agreements they realize, the engagements, and what they bring with them at home. Here are other examples of how we can promote companies. Here is companies leading by women, and we facilitated the promotion through other networks like the WeGate network, a European network to promote women empowerment. Here are other kind of promotion. We support them creating engagement also with national and international retailers. And here you can see some companies who obtained an award attending this event. So they had the possibility to showcase and sell for a couple of specific period of time within a very important national store in Italy. So it was a huge success. Here are some figures about this and pictures about this company who promoted and sell their products, other kind of newspaper and promotions. So just this was just a huge overview to let you know that the Enterprise Europe Network is trying to support SMEs to grow and to go faster in an international way. I mean. So now I would like to give the floor actually to our success stories. So I will go directly, passing the floor to Ahmad Aldaghi, if I'm not wrong in
Yes.
pronunciation. Okay, hello. So he is a life cycle assessment specialist at Project Hub. So please, the floor is yours, and thanks for attending.
Thank you, Federica. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed this useful meeting. I'm Ahmed Aldaghi, the LCA specialist at Project Hub 360. Today, I will present for you our journey in Text Matter project to define the safe and sustainable by design textile. I will start first with the brief description of the project. I will not go through the details because by scanning the QR code, you can go to the website of the project and find every useful information with the detail that you need. But it's the Horizon Europe project with the budget of nearly 5 million euros, consists of 16 partners and for the duration of 4 years. The list of the consortium of our partners in this project, as you can see, there are 16 partners, including textile centers, manufacturing, and also universities, and CITEVE as a coordinator of this project. And these companies are spread in 6 different countries in Europe. But what does Text Matter do? In Text Matter, we will develop new fiber and yarn from the alternative biomass like algae and agricultural waste. And also from this material, we extract some bioactive compound that will be used for creation of the sustainable bioformulation, dye, and also coating. So we are driving a zero waste and circular process. At the same time, we are revalorizing the second-hand textile and with mixing with the product that we had from the extracted from the biomass, we will develop fashion and home textile that they are safe, sustainable by design at their core. In this project, we as a Project Hub 360 are leading work package 7, and we are conducting a comprehensive evaluation of the safety and sustainability of every process and product that is happening inside this project. Also, we are developing end-of-life scenarios for these products. But how we do it? Firstly, we assess the comprehensive three-dimensional sustainability profile of every intermediate and final product that is happening into the project through three different lenses of the social, economic, and environment by going through the life cycle thinking methodology. So we use this life cycle assessment for the environmental point of view, social life cycle assessment, and also life cycle costing. But in order to, at the same time, take into account the sustainability profile and safety and also functional dimension of the product, we are using the quantify methodology through the safe and sustainable by design. In this methodology that we are using, using our data management system, we collect the experimental data from the partners, making sure they are harmonized and fair data. Fair data stands for the findable, accessible, interpretable, and the reusable data that will go through our digital platform, decision support digital system that is empowered by artificial intelligence and will be used for the multi-criteria decision making. But through our experience, we found that the existence of the stakeholder and their point of view for the final decision is very important. So our AI-based tool will give us this possibility to add different stakeholders with different opinions on making decision to follow the human-centric approach. Our methodology is following the Six Sigma methodology applied in the industry and is compliant with the JRC framework. It consists of 5 different stages: definition of the process, measuring the experimental data, analysis of the key decision factor, and also key performance indicator, and finally the 2 part that will be done by the human-centric decision making, designing, and validation. This methodology helps us to reduce the time to market and also reduce the cost and also risk of our process and final product. But how we will do it, this process is not possible to carry out without the collaboration of the technical partners. So basically in the first stage, that is scoping, we try to find out exactly what is their process, what are the goal that they want to achieve, that is the key performance indicator, and what are the parameters in their process that can be changed, that are the key decision factors. Based on these 2 parameters, we will define some design of experiment for them and give them to the technical partner. And based on this design of experiments, the experiment will be carried out and data will be collected. The analysis will be carried out until the validation will be as an iterative process until the human-centric approach will choose the safer and more sustainable choice that they have for their production process. But it is very important to mention, in order to have our final product safe and sustainable by design at its core, we should conduct this process at every life cycle stage and every process stage that is happening in the project, from the upstream till downstream, that gives us the final product. So every time at each stage that finished, the analysis will be carried out, and if there is some need for the redesign of the process, will be done and goes to the next stage. Here you can see an example of the final part of our analysis, that you can see that based on the parameter that has been defined, the analysis has been carried out. The stakeholders can see the corresponding point between the decision space and also performance space. It means that by choosing different decision factor, by changing the parameter, how the final performance, that is the performance indicator, would change. And here it comes our AI-based tool that by inputting the idea of different stakeholder, it gives us, based on what they want from the process, it gives us the best choice that they have. All of these processes would happen in our digital platform called Multi-Optimal 360. That is a computational decision support system. We call it DSS to support the multi-objective analysis empowered with the AI, and also it is supporting the human-centric the decision making. Toward the SSPD, we have developed also one SSPD platform empowered by the Integrano project. You are very welcome to join in this platform to have a new updated about the safe and sustainable design framework, and also to exchange some idea with the experts. But representing our company, our services, and the expertise in the textile industry, Project Hub 360, we're a company with more than 20 years experience in consulting and sustainability and innovation. We have participated in more than 110 projects, including the European project, and we had more than 800 partners in different parts of the world. Our expertise are the sustainability assessment, the SSPD methodology, and also we are going to do the digitalization of digital data, the management system, and communication. And also we are participating in the project writing and also project coordinating. Besides our other project that we have, there are two other projects related to the textile that are currently ongoing, are Integrana and SimSite. You can go through the website to find out our role and also what is this project are doing. Furthermore, in 2025, last year, we participated as a writer in collaboration with the European Commission Joint Research Center, JRC, for the preparatory study on the textile, the third milestone. You can find in the link that is in the presentation. And also, recently, we went through the digitalization of lifecycle assessment, lifecycle testing, and social lifecycle assessment in textile industry by developing a digital platform called Multi-Ecotext. But what does this platform do? This Multi-Ecotext is a unique platform that gives us the possibility to map, design, quantify, and analyze the entire value chain of the textile based on the eco-design approach. This map has the data from in a global level, so we can design our production process in the local and global state. And basically, by integrating all of these three dimensions that was mentioned, gives us the possibility and the possibility to the partner to make a smarter decision that supports the European Commission standards and regulations. Also, besides these two tools that I already explained for you, that they are multi-optimal analysis and multi-ecotext, we have developed other tools since we are going through the digitalization of the sustainability assessment that are called eco-optimal and ESGs, and also more important of them, the digital product passport. By going through our website, you can get more information about them, asking some demo of them, and try them to see what is our expertise. My presentation is finished. Thank you. Thank you for your attention. I'm available for the questions, and from our company, we are always available for participating in the consortium for the projects that exist. I cannot hear you, Federico. You are muted. Sorry.
Thanks a lot, Ahmad. I don't know if there are questions I cannot see properly. Diego, I don't know.
No, by now there are no questions for Hamad, neither for you, Federica.
Okay.
We have 4 questions on the Q&A, but we can deal with them at the end of
okay.
The next presentation.
Okay, so thanks. Thank you once more. I will now give the floor to Carla Joana Silva, Chemistry and Biotechnology Department Manager at CITIV. This is the Technological Center for the Textile and Clothing Industry in Portugal.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. And thank you, Federica and Diego, for the invitation. So I will now present some of the cases and success cases that CITEV is having on the cluster 6 and cluster 4. And first of all, I will start by introducing CITEV. So we are a private research institute, and we have several core activities, namely testing and product characterization and certification, which is one of our strongest activity. We also have a team dedicated to high-level training and coaching, where we have several training courses dedicated to the textile industry, and in particular, they are dedicated to the industry and to industry workers. And then we have R&D departments where we do R&D in all of the textile value chain. And this is quite important because we try to anticipate, by one side, what are the challenges of the industry, and by other, we propose and we go together with several projects, both at national level, but also European, in particular Horizon Europe. And that's why I will now present some of the cases. Before doing that, I would just like to mention that we are a technological institute, so we are a private R&D center, and we are quite market-oriented. And as we used to say, textiles are everywhere. So you can find textiles on fashion, of course, as in home textiles, as expected, but also on mobility, so on cars and planes, also for technical textiles, for sports practices, or for personal protection, for defense, for architecture. So there are a lot of parallel markets to fashion where we need to have quite strong requirements in terms of functionality, and where we are doing research. And last but not least, in the same group of CITEV, so in the same campus where we are based, very close to Porto, in the north of Portugal, we also have a company dedicated to the certification of textile products, and CENTI, which is a Center for Nanotechnology and Smart Materials. So what we do, Lutz already mentioned in his presentation the strategic agenda that we also contributed. So we try to look at the textile industry as an holistic vision of the ecosystem. We are glad to have in Portugal one of the few, if not the only one in Europe that is complete. So we have all the companies in the value chain, from the spinning, from the weaving, knitting, and from the dyeing and finishing, producing the prototypes, and even recycling. We have companies that do mechanical recycling in Portugal for more than 50 years. So we have a complete cluster, textile cluster here. And this gives us also opportunities to work and to promote the circularity of the industry, which is one strong focus of our activities. So we try to use circular materials, circular processes, to decrease the environmental impact, but also energy, and try to develop more efficient processes. We are investing a lot on alternative end-of-life options, not only recycling, of course, but remaking, repairing, and recycling, exploring several alternatives for recycling, including mechanical, chemical, and enzymatic, for instance. We work a lot on upcycling processes and trying to promote eco-design and eco-engineering tools in order to develop new business models. So I will now present some of the projects that we have and examples of the approach that we are having to textile and parallel and synergetic value chains. In particular, Waste to Biocon project has already finished. It was a project financed by cluster 4, and it finished last year. And in this project, we always bring a lot of industries. As you can see here, we have 5 SMEs and 3 large industries distributed all across Europe. And for us, this is quite important as well, is to engage a lot of industry players, in particular SMEs. And the main objective of this project was to scale up the production of bio-based products and materials, in particular bio-based polyesters, and to replace them in conventional industries. And as for demonstrators, we have addressed 3 different value chains, not only textiles, but also the footwear. And in particular, we were developing foams for insoles, for shoe insoles. We were also developing these PHAs as granules and to be integrated for packaging applications, and also for textile applications. And the idea was to develop fibers to produce textiles that could be used for sportswear to replace conventional synthetic fossil-based polymers like polyamide or polyester. Additionally, we have developed bio-based inks for inkjet printing processes. And in particular, we have also developed in this project a new printing system that was able to print 3D objects. So it was able to print shoes directly on the shoe and to personalize the product. And this was quite innovative. Not only we were using bio-based inks, but we were developing a new way to print products using 3D inkjet printing. And as such, our role in this project was not only as the coordination, of course, but we were also developing the inks, the innovative inks using bio-based pigments produced by fermentation and using microorganisms. The new inks needed to be validated and need to be formulated to be used on conventional inkjet printing, but also on 3D printing that had other challenges. And we developed also a process to remove the color from printed products in order to be able to print them again with a different logo or a different image, and in this way keep the product circularity in the loop, which was also a quite interesting approach. Of course, we were using these PHAs, these bio-based polyesters, for producing new fibers and new coatings. And we were also assessing the toxicity, and in particular, if going to be biodegradable, to evaluate the ecotoxicity in soil after this degradation. And we were also developing specific training materials for the textile industry and for the workers that are using these new materials and that they need new skills, and we were also addressing this in this project. We are also engaged in other ongoing projects. On Cluster 4, I bring here T Extended project, which is coordinated by VTT. It's in Innovation Action. Our role is also very strong related with the textile ecosystem that we are engaged. And in this project, we are also using one of our key competencies, which is Industry 5.0, where we are developing data-driven solutions and tools to support the material flow in the process, to develop digital twins, to develop models and softwares to predict the quality of fibers that are recycled by mechanical recycling approaches, as some examples. We are also developing a specific recycling equipment that enable us to recycle mechanically textile products that are containing different layers and need special separation techniques, and also working on the hygienization and color removal to increase the added value of the recycled fibers. We are also exploring chemical and enzymatic recycling approach in this project, and developing textile demonstrators to showcase the potential and the feasibility of the circular products developed within the project, and also developing a specific methodology for evaluating the circularity potential and also the symbiosis readiness, as well as we are the partner responsible for the IPR management. Penguin, it's another project that we participate as partner, is also an innovation action. And in this particular project, the idea is to develop the monomaterial cellulose-based product for outdoor use, like a jacket. And we are using only cellulose-based fibers, and we are responsible for producing the yarns and the textile structure using these fibers. We are also responsible, together with other partners, to develop the fluorine-free water-repellent solutions. We are also the one that are doing the integration of these insulation materials that we are also developing specific non-wovens by needle punching and integrating these non-wovens into the textile structure in order to produce the jackets, and evaluating the performance of these textile products, not only the mechanical and physical properties, but also thermal comfort, which is one of the main requirements in terms of functionality of this product. We are also in this project the responsible person entity for the recycling and studying different end-of-life options and assessing the potential of each of these recycling options and doing all the prototype validation and testing. Regarding cluster 6, I bring here text matter. Ahmad already mentioned this project. I'm not going to enter into a lot of details. I'm just mentioning again the huge amount of companies. We have 7 SMEs engaged in this project, and they are responsible for showcasing and for demonstrating the potential of the several approaches that we have in the project. The main goal is to develop new fibers from different waste sources. So we have textile residues, post-consumer textile residues that we are using and doing mechanical recycling and conventional cotton type spinning to produce new fibers. We are also extracting new fibers from agricultural residues and also extracting fibers from algae, both micro and macro algae, in order to develop new fibers. And again, we are also developing a specific functional ingredients to functionalize the products. So in this project, we are also the coordinators, and we are, as mentioned, extracting the new fibers from both marine and terrestrial residues. We are producing the new yarns, the textile structures to be used in the textile demonstrators. We are optimizing the bio-based finishing formulations and validating all the solutions, including their end-of-life alternatives that we have addressing in this project. So briefly, this was the presentation of CITEV and our participation in European projects. We have other capabilities and other projects also running. So if you want to know more and understand what we do, you can follow us in our social networks, or you can contact me for further information. So thank you very much, and I'm open to reply to any questions or doubts that you might have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carla. Very, very interesting. And again, I would open the floor to questions, or if someone wishes to comment or to say something.
So, Carla, thank you very much. This was the last presentation of our webinar, and as Federica was saying, let's say we take these 8 minutes for some question. I ask our director, Emanuela, yes, to display Slido so that we can answer to all the question if we have the knowledge. So for sure, I can take the first 3 actually. That are the first is related to the textile conference Ecosystex, if I remember exactly the name, in Antwerp, that will be in September. Is it open to everyone, or do we need to be a member of the partnership? No, the conference is public, and so you can join. Of course, there is a registration fee. If you are a member of the Textile Partnership, you or of other organization, of other association, you will have a discount, but otherwise you can pay the full price of the ticket, and the conference is public. Second question, Horizon, yes, material production 61. Does the project proposition need to reach a minimal tier level? So actually, this topic is a new one, is a new way to submit like a project. Is called Fast Track to Innovation. So there is not a minimum of technologies readiness level, but there is a maximum, and is TRL 4. So let's say you have to reach the proof of concept, is a quite different project from the usual one of cluster 4 pillar 2 cluster 4. So it's always a collaborative project, but the consortium has to be composed of a maximum of 6 organizations. So let's say it's a little bit similar to EIC Pathfinder in some way, and it's a more, let's say, flexible way to reach some certain level of innovation. This is why the name of Fast Track to Innovation. So first question is always for me. Diego Coglitore spoke about a future call about raw materials, which was RAMP. Yes, it's RAMP. So RAMP is a new initiative following ERAMIN, and it's a raw material, the raw material partnership call. It will be launched officially at the end of this month, after the final conference of ERAMIN in Stockholm, and it will run for the next 11 years. So it will be a co-fund under Cluster 4, funded by Cluster 4, specifically on raw materials. It will be a very rich co-fund, so a lot of calls every year. And so stay tuned on our website to have more information. So I think there is a question for Serena now.
Yes, Diego. Regarding the consortium building, now the brokerage event platform is closed for 2026 calls. But in any case, you can refer to your national contact point in your country for looking for potential partner and for sharing your profile inside Europe and abroad. And there is also the funding attended portal partner search that is always available for the topic that are open. So inside the funding attended portal, once you are logged in, you can select for looking for partner or coordinator inside this platform. In any case, if I may suggest, due to the fact that the deadline of the call is very close, also because we have the summer break in the middle, we suggest to refer directly to your national contact point for having a more close link with other organizations that are active in some of that topic.
So thank you, Serena. I take the last one quickly. Usually when we talk about AI algorithm for efficiency, waste management, reduction, or whatever, it's something that is requested in different topics. So the suggestion is to have a look to the work program to 2026-27, especially cluster 4 and cluster 6. Not only limited to this, but also you can have a look also to cluster 5 work program. If you spot something that you're interested in, some topic that is very relevant for your organization, always contact your local national contact point. So I think we have done with the question, and we are very on time. 2 minutes to the end of this webinar, and I think we can close with 1 minute before. I would like to thank Federica and Serena, first of all, for the organization of this event, and to all the project partners, colleagues in European Enterprise Network, in Care4Bio and CP4 Industry Plus, who joined the event, who supported us to organize this event. And for sure, all the speakers, starting from Lutz Walter from the Textile Partnership, Simone Maccaferri from Circular Bio-Based Europe, our last host from the success story. And that's all from my side. Thank you again, and thank you for the participation.
Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you soon.
Ciao.